All right. This is a special meeting, April 30th, 2020, 4:30 p.m. We call the meeting to order. And Dara, if you'd do us the honor again of doing the invocation.
Lord, we just thank you for another day. Lord, we just thank you for each and every blessing you pour out, Lord. Lord, we praise you for each and every need you meet in our life. Lord, we praise you for touching Magoffin County, Lord. Lord, through this COVID-19 crisis that we're having, Lord. Lord, just keep a blessing this county, keep a blessing this fiscal court that will always make the right decision. Lord, we give you the praise, the honor, give you the glory. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
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 All right, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States
to the republic which it stands,
which it stands, one nation,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, the clerk will call the roll.
Judge Larman,
Here.
Gerald Hurd, Cornell Master,
Here.
Bill Bailey,
Here.
Craig,
Here.
Josephine Bailey.
Here.
All right, first item on the agenda is to consider approve the first reading of the 2020-21 budget. I sent those to you yesterday. I intended on trying to get a little better summaries sent along with it, but with all the changes that we've been having and information we're getting from the state daily, the numbers keep changing. They're very fluid right now. But what I'll do real quick is I'll try to give you just a synopsis of the bigger funds that we have that we deal with. The other ones are mostly just in and out. But our general fund through March, we spent about 80% of our budget. And that includes the one-time expenses and those kind of things. So we're on track expense-wise. As far as our revenues go, what we have budgeted, we still need to collect about $146,000 to meet that goal. We may or may not. It depends on how occupational taxes go. We know with the way that things are going now with the COVID-19 and people not working and our businesses shut down, we anticipate that our occupational taxes will be light this next quarter. But overall, I think we're doing okay. We've spent less this year, I think, so far than we have through periods in prior years. As far as the budget goes, when we done the budget for last year or the year we're in now, 2020, we actually reduced expenditures by about $605,000 just in the general fund. On top of that, we went through and we cut an additional $185,000 out of this year's budget. And what we've done, we just continue to, we're getting cost savings on our insurance. We're getting some other things that's happening, but we're having to replace that with expenses out of our LGEA fund. That $185,000, I had to take $125,000 and then budget into our general fund to cover the expenses of the community center. Our community center is in the LGEA fund, and we're no longer getting as much money as far as co-severance goes. And I'll talk about that when we get to the LGEA fund. But we're having to move. It's either us do a fund transfer out of general fund and give it to LGEA, and that doesn't truly show revenues and expenses. So as far as our revenues go, we anticipate that we're going to be short or have a decrease in revenues estimated about $168,000. A portion of that is having to do with based on last year's budget. A portion of that is obviously occupational tax, but there was a telecommunication tax that had been budgeted for a couple of years, and the state must have been doing a catch up because that is no longer at the levels that it was then. So we had to reduce that significantly. But other than that, the general fund has all the expenses in it, we believe, to operate the county in a way that we can provide all the services the best we can with what we got. We'd love to have a bunch more money, and hopefully we'll get something from this stimulus money, but only time will tell on that. As far as our road fund, if you looked at our road fund, you can see that the budget is up quite a bit there. But that's primarily because we got about $850,000 worth of FEMA money coming in and going out. So that had to be budgeted on the revenues and expenses. We are going to be cut about in the road fund about $110,000 overall from what we got in current year. That's primarily a cut in our county rural aid, and just found out today, it's hearsay, I don't have any facts, just talking to some county judges on a Zoom call this morning, that looks like our flex funds will be cut about $10,000 or 10%, which will be about $20,000. It's we're getting $200,000 this year in flex, but that can all change. Gas prices are so low, demand is so low. If that don't pick up, our county rural aid could be impacted. We still have all of the debt service this year. We moved it out of general fund and put it into the road fund. The debt service for the 2013 blacktop, that's $30,000 a month, $360 a year. Gonna do that till 2024. As far as I know, we're still going to be getting the opportunity to get more 80/20 money for bridges, and we just got all that approved here recently for this year, so that'll be in there as well. Let's see, the jail budget. Jail is it's a loser. We get about $88,000 a year in, and we spend about $530,000. So that's just one of those things that the general fund has to carry, and our estimates have held true pretty good. We spent about $418,000 this year out of $527 that we got budgeted. We should be on target to come onto that figure, especially with the home incarceration and the release of a lot of prisoners, and hopefully that'll stay down. And we're always looking for cost savings there. Our LGEA fund this year, we had a lot of ins and outs. We've done some cost severance projects at the community center, about $80,000. So we've already spent about $320,000 of our $250,000 budget, but we've only collected about $312,000. What that means is general funds have to subsidize LGEA. This budget does away with that. There's no longer fund transfers coming out of general fund to go into the LGEA. It's going to have to be self-sustaining. The things that we keep in there are all the fire departments and rescue squads and senior citizens and constables and a bunch of other things like that. But as that money dwindles and our current, the only coal mine operating in the county is shut down right now. Don't anticipate opening back up. So there's going to be even more cuts to LGEA as we move forward. And right now we're down about a net reduction in expenses of about $113,000, and that's $125,000 of that being net. Some things went up due to changes in the formulas, but we moved $125,000 out to put it in general fund for the community center operations and expenses. And overall revenue, excluding the one-time single line item coal severance, has decreased by about $45,000. So we're down right now where coal severance is only about $78,000. Going to get about $88,000 in mineral, and other than that, unless there's something happens, that's all the money we're going to get in that fund. Solid waste recycle, we get about $75,000–$80,000 a year from the franchise fees. The recycle, that's a loser. 40,000 pounds of cardboard brings a couple $100. We're spending a whole lot of money on recycle and not getting a lot in return. It's a great service for our businesses and community, but as things get tighter and tighter, that may be something that we have to take another look at. As far as the remaining funds, 911 and those other funds, those are pretty well self-sustaining. As soon as we get 911 moved over here and get the new equipment, we'll be able to apply for mobile 911 money, which should bring in somewhere between $70,000–$80,000 a year. We may be able to expand personnel and have better coverage with the 911 staff, but we'll see at that time how much revenue that brings in. That's all I have on the budget. Are there any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the first reading of the FY 2021 Magoffin County Fiscal Court Budget.
I'll make the motion to approve it.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is to approve the FY 2021 pre-approved recurring expenses. Basically what that is, that gives us authority to do postage and to pay a land rental that we have as a result of we got a couple of land rentals, but one of them is the old dump site. I'd entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oh, no, motion carries. I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank y'all for your attendance and appreciate y'all. This technology stuff is sometimes a little bit challenging, but we're getting a knack of it. But I can't wait till we're sitting around a table where we can look face to face and do this in a normal way. So have a good evening, everybody.
All right.
Good
See you
evening.
guys.